As with all of my lower body days, I start with sledding, and today I did 5 minutes going backwards and then forwards, a total of about 80 yards. My first exercise was a straight leg calf raise. I'm showing the last set on pretty much every exercise. This is a set of 12. I'm using 22.5 pounds. And my right leg, I have limited dorsiflexion, and I'm extremely weak in the lower position. But I was able to get all 3 sets of 12 on my right leg. You can see my left leg. I can feel much more comfortable and stable. I'm definitely stronger in it, but I'm able to match the reps that I did on my weak leg. When I'm done with this, I'm moving on to the tibialis raise, then the KOT calf raise, followed by the ATG split squat. And I do these actually in a circuit fashion with a total of 3 sets. For the tibialis raise, I'm using 35 pounds, which is the ATG standard for my body weight. I should hit 15 reps to hit the standard. I was not able to hit 15 today as I just increased the weight from last time. Last time I was doing 32.5 pounds, so I upped to 2.5 pounds. After the tibialis, I do KOT calf raise. 3 sets of 12. And once again, I increased the weight. I'm using a 30-pound dumbbell. Last week, I used a 22.5-pound dumbbell. And I was able to get all sets and reps even on my bad leg or my weaker leg. The left side, I can do this without a problem. I would imagine if I tested my left side, I could hit the ATG standard, which I believe for my body weight is 45 pounds for a set of 12. Once again, this is my last set of these. This is my second set of ATG split squat. I actually start with my heel down. I'm working on getting actually stronger with my heel down because I've used a wedge for a long time. But as you can see, I need a lot of elevation in order to get full calf coverage on my right side. My left side is completely fine. I only did the reps just to balance out the left and right side. But I do not need elevation or a heel wedge on my left side. So I did want to also do more flat ground, but using a wedge for the ATG split squat. So I did 2 sets of 5 with a pause at the bottom. My right side, I lack dorsiflexion, but I am getting stronger. And even using the heel wedge, I notice, helps me to get stronger in my dorsiflexion. I can feel a stretch in my Achilles when I do this, and I am getting stronger out of that. And of course, I get the added benefit of the knee strength. My left side is much better. Ironically, my right hip flexor is actually tighter and weaker than my left side. So when I'm doing these, I'm really focusing on squeezing that right glute and getting a good stretch in my right hip flexor. But even so, I am able to keep my leg pretty straight, and I have no issue doing this. So once I'm done with this circuit style, I move on to my squatting. Not shown, but I did 2 warm-up sets of squats. Started with 85 pounds for 5, and then 105 for 5. And in between that, I just did a set of 12, 2 sets of 12 with the hamstring curl, just to get some more volume with knee flexion on my hamstrings. And actually, this warms me up nicely for not only the squat, but also for the Nordics. This is my top set of squatting. It's only 135 pounds, but I was able to do them all smooth and controlled reps with no pain in my ankle or knees. And I'm using the ATG buddies, and that allows me to squat fully, also get my knees more over my toes, and with a more upright posture compared to if I wasn't able to use the ATG buddies. So I do really like them. They provide a lot of stability. This is my top set, and I did 135 for 10 reps. And they all felt and look very good. In the ATG Standards program, the standard now is actually using a slant board for me for 130 pounds. So that would actually put me with a more upright torso, even more knees over toes. I'm going to try that next week to see if I can hit it. But I did do some slant board work here when I was done. I did a drop set. This is a 75-pound dumbbell. And I was actually aiming for 20 reps and to really push it. Not only on my muscular endurance, but also my heart and also the knee health. But mentally, I was a little drained by reps 10, so I only did 12 reps. I'm sure if I really wanted to push it, I could have hit 20. Next week, I will try the slant squat using a barbell with 135 pounds. See how that goes. This is my last set of Nordics. I did 3 sets of 5, and I'm only doing the eccentric, so lowering only, and I'm aiming for about 4 seconds down. I felt pretty good on these, especially doing the hamstring curl as my warm-up. When I got done with the Nordics, the next movement I do is the seated good morning. I'm using 135 pounds, which is well above what the ATG standard is. I believe for me that is around 115 pounds for a set of 10. And I was able to hit a set of 10 here. And it was pretty difficult, but I was able to do it. So I'm well above standard. Overall, my body is definitely very hip dominant, and I'm much stronger using my hips in comparison to my quads. And that came from over 15 years of not doing really any knees over toes exercise and doing very much a lot of hip dominant squatting, so wide stance, low bar, a lot of deadlifting, which isn't necessarily bad, but my quads and my knee strength is way behind my hips. So I only do 1 set just to maintain it. And finally, we're looking at doing hip flexor and lower ab work. So I'm doing the Gar hammer raise. I'm only lowering down to parallel, and I'm driving the knees to the elbows. The ATG standard is sets of 20, and I was able to do 2 sets of 20. So I was able to hit the ATG standard. And that completes the workout.